Hi, I'm Beatrice Fedeli. Welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. For today's painting, we're going to be tackling a subject where the main focus here is going to be how to simplify a complex image in watercolor. So instead of putting every detail on it, how to think about shapes and lights and darks and have the painting come to life like that. So let me show you step by step how to accomplish this. Let's get started. So for today's project, we're going to be doing an interior scene, which we haven't done in, I think this is the first time they're doing it here in YouTube. The aim of this, besides ending with a beautiful painting, I'm waiting, by the way, this is what I'm doing here, waiting part of the outdoors. Is to simplify a painting, you know. This little doggy is my dog, Luna. She loves to look outside the window. It's yellow, which is a pale type of yellow. And on top of that, I'm putting a pale. And with the water that I just finished applying, then it's going to make it even lighter. So the aim here is we're going to keep it very light. And we also, obviously, this part, which is where the light is coming, the indoor, then we will switch a little bit to a little bit of a darker color. Well, you'll see. Here I'm getting my Naples yellow. And like I said, this time I got too much paint. I want to keep it light. This is the underpainting. We will come back with other colors. So I'm trying to leave a little bit of white, kind of like suggesting the frame of the door. Again, the important word here is suggesting. Got it in a different palette. A very light hint of burnt sienna. But again, I want to keep it light because it is going to be underpainting. I'm going to leave the frame door to be my separation between this and this, because this is wet, and if not, I will have bleeding happening. So I'm gonna leave that frame of the door for right now dry, and then I'm gonna bring this light underpainting here into this part. Bring in the burnt sienna around here. So this is dry, and now I'm going to be using some of my Antwerp Blue by Winsor & Newton. I just got this paint, this tube. It is a beautiful color. We're going to have a variety of blues. So we're going to put some of that, some of the French ultramarine, just for the underpainting of the white areas that I have right now, not the doggy. So while I do this, I'm just gonna speed up a little bit, so because it's not so boring, and then we'll be back once it's dry. I'm getting my French ultramarine, but this time I'm gonna have it a little bit darker. I don't want it to be too bright, so I'm gonna put a little bit of my burnt sienna, because with burnt sienna, I'm gonna dull it out. Let's go to it. I'm gonna show you a little bit, again, like I did before. I'm gonna show you a little bit in this size, then I'm gonna do the same here, and I may speed it up. I don't know. You let me know in the comments. Oops, let's get this out. If you like to see every single step and see, my thoughts or what I'm doing as I go, or if you prefer some of the repetitive parts, that I will speed it up. I'm here to do what is better for you, the viewer. So I'm putting it a little bit darker here. Anyway, now I'm going with water, and then I want to let some of that underpainting showing. let's just, I got kind of like a little liner there, so let's just break this up. Let's go with, again, suggestions of darks here for contrast. Going right away because these colors are a little staining. And we'll talk more about that, what the staining colors and granulated colors and things like that are. And you see how we're already creating this texture, giving it like pushing this away, and this is here. And here at the bottom, let's just get a hint more of the burnt sienna, making this maybe a little too dark. So I want to separate as if it is a little bit. Again, I need to do hints of realism, and then our eyes fill the other spaces where we are not putting so much detail. So let's wait for this to dry a little bit. Let's lift this right here. And then I'm switching, getting only the blue without the burnt sienna. And see, I put in a little bit of that. Now I'm making the impression of maybe ledge out there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing in this side. So that you can see me, it's the same colors that I've been having here. The French Ultra with a little bit of the Antwerp blue. Let's get a little bit more of that here. And I've been using the burnt sienna to get it a little bit darker or lighter in certain areas. So what I'm gonna do is like, these ones here with the burnt sienna, I'm gonna dilute it. I want this part over here, the light is coming this way, so I want it to be lighter. So let's get a little bit darker than what I was having it from the underpainting, but it's still pretty light. Now, when we do architectural things, we need to be careful. Like for example, what do I mean by that? I don't have to put every detail, but when I do a straight line, make sure that your drawing is straight, and also make sure, like when you're painting, the colors are getting pretty straight. Now, what happens inside? Like inside here, you know, we're gonna have lost and found in some of these areas. That's okay. You don't have to worry so much about if this line is going all straight or if it gets lost, like in this case that I'm losing it out. But in this other one, yes, I need to be straight. Let's get a little bit of drop while it's wet, a little bit of burnt sienna here for light. And these little things, I've seen now it warms it up, like the light is coming maybe from there. And now we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna put it over here. Get a little of the blue once again, not so dark. Let's light it up by putting more water in the tip of my brush. And actually, I just noticing how I did something wrong. This needs to come all the way here. So let's just darken this little part. And then this will go like that. And now the door, voila, makes sense. Okay, so leaving it like that, cover some of this white so that it looks straight. Maybe put with browns a thin line right here, like, okay, and maybe here too. Let's move to the top. Let's see. Let's do the impression of how the ear is. So light here. I have my queen gold right now, and the light is coming this way too. So I'm starting to curve to give this dog some dimension, like 3D, going with water. And now we're going to switch to the burnt sienna. That may be too dark, we'll see. We're going to put some underneath the ear here, because these dogs have big ears, believe it or not. Flappy ears. And let's start getting, well, this part over here, if the light comes over here, I don't want that to be too dark. So just a little bit of variation on my doggy, but not too dark. Here it can be dark because the ear is underneath, so that even the light will be hitting on the top. Okay, let's get it with a little hint of blue, the burnt sienna with a little hint of blue, so that it's a little grayish, because that's how it will be. And with my tip of the brush, let's bring it up. Let's put a little bit of that here too. And back to the queen gold. So I'm going to blend now. Instead of just with water, I'm blending with color too. Okay. And yeah, we need to make sure that it turns around here. So let's bring the burnt sienna, because otherwise our doggy is going to look flat. We're going to leave that as it is. We'll bring in just light over here too, but this is a leg, so it has to be a little bit darker than the body, so that I can darken it up. And this part over here, kind of like the shoulder, we're gonna bring it on sienna. Sienna. This is the other tuck and leg. And blend. We can go ahead and start getting it, like with the tail, a little bit, mark a little bit of the spine. And now we're making it round, so otherwise it's going to be flat. And oh, this will be darker. So let's bring a little bit of the burnt sienna with blue, because this is where the tail and the body meets. And this is another leg tuck in here. Let's blend this. For this tail, I'm wetting a little. I put the burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is gonna come a little bit more here too. And now I'm picking the burnt sienna and burnt sienna again. And darker here. I need a softer brush. Because my hard edge brush was giving me too many. It was moving all the layers from the bottom instead of blending them. With this darker, a little bit darker. Let's use this softer brush with Queen Gold. A little more Queen Gold there. Okay. And the grace for here. I'll get it there. I don't have it here. Maybe a little bit there too. Again, yes, I'm putting a little more detail here that I've been putting in the doors or in other things, but I'm not making a portrait of a dog. I'm just going with kind of like impressions of the shape of the head. One. Okay. And yes, since I'm doing a dog, I will make, we will end up working something with cats for the cat lovers. One of my sisters actually has a cat, and they're just as cute as the dog. They're completely different animals. I mean, they got different personalities for sure, but each on their own way, they are as cute as they can be. All right. Knowing when to stop is very important, so I'm gonna call this dog done. We're gonna keep working on this, and then we will put the shadow to ground it. He's now floating. All right, so back to our blues. Now we're gonna start putting, we're gonna play with soft and hard edges. I want this blue to be darker than this, but lighter than that. I'm gonna finish this painting. So, one way of being loose to simplify a painting, not being loose, but simplify the painting, it means that if we put every detail, then nothing stands up. So what I'm doing is I put a lot of the detail in the dog, but I left all the walls to be loose and abstract, including part of this door as well. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move to the outside. Now, the outside will have plants, trees, buildings, but here we're going to do it with less is more. So we're going to suggest a garden, but with just a few shapes, but we're not putting every detail at all. So let me zoom a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and start tackling this. Besides, this is the part where it is very bright, where the sun is hitting, if you will. So I'm going back to my Naples yellow, and to this Naples yellow, I may bring a hint of burnt sienna, so it's not too bright. I don't want things especially bright. So let's go. But I do want it to be a little bit warmer. Warmer is the temperature of the paint. We can have a cool yellow and a warmer yellow, or a cool blue and a warmer blue, like we have here. Anyway, I'm just going light, and I'm going I don't know, well, maybe there's a pergola, was a suggestion of another structure here. All I know is that I'm going with a little bit darker, but I want to have some of this underpainting show too. And then now I'm bringing some of that color here, but I don't want to cover every area. And this one here. And back to the Indian yellow. I can put some of that Indian yellow around here. And here, some of the queen golds, very pale queen golds. And again, it's good to have it in different directions, straight, vertical, now horizontal, variations. I want to have this part dark, I know that much, but we can bring some of the burnt siennas around here. And so that this is almost like an underpainting, that it will show up through the other colors that we're going to bring in a minute. All right, so I'm going to bring water this way so that I can go from more to less. And then we have a found and lost edge here. Good. Now, since I have this loose color, let's just put some hints of that. It's pretty light now because I've basically switched to blues. Let's get my Antwerp and with burnt siennas. So it's going to give us that lovely kind of grays. Oh, can you see what I got here? I'm picking things from the palette. So maybe drop some little variations of lighters. I'll get darkers. Let's put some darkers here. And just some of them can blend. And now I'm going to try to start making the, again, what it will be the frame of the door. So, water. Trying to get variation, but let's get some of the burnt sienna, Antwerp, blue. I'm gonna wet because I want this size light, this size dark. Now let's do a little bit of negative painting. I'm bringing the color, so I'm getting the shape of my doggy. Again, it is the frame of the door. So let's bring these colors here. I'm gonna wet. And this edge, I'll sort of have this edge at there already. So let's just put some of these colors here at the middle. How about that? And the water that I put over here, push this out, so I'm gonna bring it up again. And maybe in this corner, only so that we can continue to draw the frame of our door. And I'm gonna leave this, like you say, impressions, things like it may be there. Now we're gonna go ahead and darken this here. I want it to be soft. I don't want to be solid, because if it's solid, it's gonna read like if it is a wall, and it is not a wall. It's just like darkness from the background. Okay, so let's just do some of that as well over here. Water. And because I'm gonna go around the duck with carefulness, I'm bringing the water here. So as I go with my brush, gives me time to do this tiny little detail like the frame of the door. Okay, water, bring it out, touch it out, bring it in. And let's get the shape of this dog. This is negative painting, people. We're going on the negative by getting the outline of our doggy, or whatever object you will happen to have it there. Let's get maybe some brown sienna here to make things. But since he's a lot in brown sienna, let's bring a little bit of reds too, pinkies. And let's put those here too. And the dark color. Okay, now coming with water. And here, I'm gonna take my time and we're gonna go ahead and outline this dog. Ear, neck, and body. Let's drop a little bit of the pink here in the middle as well. Touch, tap, tap, tap with water, and tapping. And I still got we need to tap up here as well. I still got the darker color. All right, now let's get, we got it over there. Let's get some over here, but we don't want this to look like it's just like a cutout. So if we got the blue out there, now we're gonna bring it over here, a little bit lighter, but we're gonna have the blues, blues, blues. So it doesn't feel just like a cutout. Some of the water, because I was having a lot of water, is getting a little bit here. So let's lick this inside my dog. Water, make sure that I stay by the frame if I'm gonna go straight. And if not, we just bring it around there. Let's get some over here too, but not next to it. Otherwise, like I said, we will be doing the cutout. We don't want that. I just bring in some of the color around here. We can put, we were trying to get a little bit darker here, so might as well go there too. And let's bring some of those pinks here too. I got like a too much of a line, so I don't want that. This is almost done. Do grays, and pretty much this painting will be done. But now that we got these darkers, this thing here looks pretty light. So one more. And I want to keep this abstract, like I say. It's just that it pushes, the dark pushes this forward and that goes back. And let's just remove this yellow from here. I don't need that. Let's French ultramarine and brown sienna. So my French ultramarine is almost done. My brown sienna. Let's make a good gray. Get too much brown, so let's get more green, more blue. And it's okay if it's actually, let's just do it like this, where we have some more on the browns and some more of the grays, so we can have variation. All right, we're gonna start putting this part here and shadow. This one, this one, let's get the water. And light, dark. All this water from here is giving me some blossoms, so I'm trying to take them out. This is in shadow. This is going to be also more shadow. We need to get more blue. Let's get it like this. And as I come over here, I'm going to get it a little bit more on the brown. But we want this to be a hard shadow. All right, while that dries a little bit and then I can come over here with lighter shadows, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the shadow of our doggy, which it will be a little bit more on the brown side because some of the colors from our dog will reflect on the floor. So, mixing burnt siennas with French ultramarines, darker as it's closer to the animal, and lighter as it goes away. So, lighter, lighter. And let me dilute this a little bit more. I want this lighter. And now we want it darker because I'm getting closer. So the tail is going to have a shadow there that is going to be lifted. So now I'm going with the water here too, and it's not going to be a straight line, so then it goes less. We're going to have shadow of the tail here as well, and we're going to go with water, bring it a little bit of the burnt sienna is going to be here on the shadow, and a little bit of this dark color is also going to be here. Shadows, and very important, it's going to have a shadow on his button here too, darker as it gets closer. Okay, now with this color, maybe gonna bring a little bit of the bring in a little bit of the neutral tint. We're gonna put the last touches: shadow, 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 light, dilute. Another one over here. It's not as light, but it's not as dark as that either. And let's just bring some shadows here. Oops, this is looking good. Get some of the darker colors just to separate a little bit here. And bring some over here. And let's do one here. I don't want to touch that. Just a little over here. So by using a lot of our techniques, by using the negative painting, and especially by not putting a whole lot of details and being careful where we put the details, simplifying the whole scene, we've been able to get a very beautiful painting. I'm just trying to get this leg here that looks like I got lost. That still tells a good story without having a whole lot, let's lift a little bit, a whole lot of the detail put onto it. But our dog doesn't have a whole lot of detail. The background doesn't have a lot of detail, yet it's telling us this beautiful, good story. If you paint along, I hope that it was fun for you. Breaking big complex subjects into big shapes, letting the light and the dark of the colors tell the story. But still, being the story there is a good way to improve your paintings. So let me know if you would like to see more of these type of subjects, and let me know in the comments. And if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe. It helps a lot. I'll see you next time.